What's up, guys? This is Ben Dolan. Trying out a YouTube channel, so we'll see how this goes. This is my 1999 Jeep Cherokee. It's a great vehicle. I've actually had it since I started driving when I turned 16, so yeah, it's been growing up with me. I'm a college freshman now, so it's been there. So this is a 200 Jeep technically because my dad got it off of this lady that lived in Garden, North Carolina. She daily drove it to work every day until about probably like 2009. So this thing has seen quite a few miles. We'll start out with some exterior shots since it is getting close to Christmas. I slapped on the reef I made from Dollar General about 2 years ago. So it's held together by zip ties. Yeah, it's good for the highway, it stays there. So this is just a quick walk around. The paint code's flame red. It's hard to miss on the road. Let's see. Only bit of damage would be on the back bumper right here. So I got backed into some. There she is. So a common problem for these Jeeps is they like to rust a bit. But since it's been in the South all its life, I still have the rocker panels right here. They're all good, no rust. The underneath looks pretty good. So yeah, it's surviving. Trying to keep it that way. I mean, another reason for no rust would actually be where I live. It's December 9th, and wearing short sleeves, so don't see very much snow here. Alright, so I've done a few rattle can jobs on here. I mean, I haven't, the flame red is factory paint. Don't worry, I didn't do that rattle can. But these bumper caps and these fender flares are just bumper and trim paint. Wanted to switch it up a little bit. Actually, the fender flares I have a story about. So I guess I got nicked on the side of the car. You can kind of still see where that happened, and it just scuffed the flare a little bit, and I was like, you know what? Let's paint on the fender flares. So I did that, and it actually turned out pretty well. I like how it contrasts with the paint. Just the other side of the fender flares. This one's a little. I need to revisit that one. You can still see the red underneath. These were originally the same color as the Jeep. So yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit those one day. And this back one actually about fell off in a cookout parking lot. So I took it out in the parking lot, and it's in the back of the Jeep right now. So I'll also revisit this one. And these amber lights, I've always I've always wondered what else I could do with these. Like, they have to stay amber. It kind of looks like a school bus. So I actually ordered these not too long ago to replace these bulbs, and I also got side markers. But I just have to either get switchback LEDs or just amber LEDs to be legal. I'll show you the power plant of this beast. We have the hood release. Alright, here's the inline 6 in all its glory. I spent a few hours under this hood, but generally it doesn't give me much problems under here. So you have this is a summertime thing. I wrapped this fuel rail on cool tape because I had a heat soak issue. And I've also upgraded these injectors to 12 holes. Kind of just did it because the internet told me to, but I think it helped out some. More recently, I swapped out the spark plugs for Champion coppers, and I also replaced the wires. And it ran a lot better, so I'm actually glad I did that. And hey, we got green coolant. I'm pretty happy to see that. I had a radiator issue over the summer, and yeah, my coolant was brown, so I wasn't too happy to see that, but it's all fixed now. Brand new water pump. That one hurt. Alright, around here I have a sensor that I replaced not too long ago. It's a Mopar sensor. Heard that those are supposed to be better than auto parts stores, so That one almost ran me $90 for that, for just a little sensor on throttle body, so, yeah, it's worth it so far. Now, I don't do much off-roading. I'd like to in the future, but this is just a stock airbox. I actually looked at an airbox called a cow intake that routes it across the block and into the firewall right here, and apparently that's the coolest spot for air. And also acts as like a snorkel, so you don't have to be all flashy with one. Oh, and a story about, I guess just about this engine bay and the abuse it's taken. So it was raining one day on the way to work, and a big old puddle on the side of the road. It was just sitting there. I've seen it before. Going about 35, so I thought I could hit it on a stock lift. Yeah, I'm driving a Jeep and everything. Where's the badge? Right there. Look, driving a Jeep. Should be no problem, right? I hit that puddle going like 35, right? And I hear squealing from the inside of the motor, so I didn't think that sounded very well, so I drove it for the rest of the day to work and drove it back. But when I came back to work the next day, I was hitting the brakes, and you know, it just kept shutting off for whatever reason. And I finally hit the brakes on the last stop sign outside of work, and my horn just started blowing and didn't stop. Drove all the way down the driveway to work with the horn blaring, so that was fun. It was a fun time. So that one I just had to let the engine dry out from hitting that puddle, so I don't hit the puddle anymore. We'll do a few undercarriage shots. There's nothing too important down here. I've done a couple things. Let's see if you can see that's the stock cap, but I have a muffler welded to it. It's a thrush welded. Don't have the part number, but it's a pretty good sound. I'll put an exhaust clip here soon. Next thing we have is the shock absorbers. I replaced that in shop class with a few of my buddies. Didn't realize that the original shocks from the factory, I believe, were still on this thing, so I was riding them blown out shocks and I didn't even realize. This roof rack was kind of like my first buy after I got a job, so I was like really excited for this thing, but it's alright. I eventually want to go for like a gutter mount soon, but it's held in by these clamps right here, and hey, it's been on there for 1.5 years, so it hasn't fallen off and hit a car. Alright, I'll give an interior shot. These door handles are cool, I like these. So, this is the cockpit. So I hopped on eBay one day, and I found this wood grain dash bezel for $40. So I thought I would spice up the interior a little bit. I mentioned earlier about this Jeep racking up a few miles, so I'll show you the mileage. Yeah, no check engine light though, so it's running strong. A really common problem for these Jeeps is the factory headliners like to sag after a time because the glue just gets old. So me and my buddy, just one day, I ordered the material and we stripped it all down and laid this new headliner down. I think it looks pretty good. It's holding up. I guess something about me, not about the Jeep. I'm around 6'3", and Jeeps aren't the tallest vehicles in the world as far as inside space. So I have a tiny bit of room. That's just from leaning my seat back. Nothing you can really do about that. Seats don't go down, so I just live with it. The Jeep seem to attract animals because Cat likes it. She jumps in here a lot when the doors are open, and my dog likes to go on rides, so they like this thing. All right, back here's the bench seat. As you saw from the walk-around, this is a 4-door, but 2 doors also have this bench seat, so you can fit people back here. It just isn't very comfortable with the seat leaned back, so sitting behind me wouldn't be very fun. So something I learned with the ownership of this Jeep is that it's always a good idea to carry around like spare tools and parts on the road with you, because you can break down anywhere. So in the back here I have a toolbox. It's bungee corded down for safety reasons. But in here I have, you know, socket sets. I've gathered tools over the past couple years I've owned this that I need to fix the Jeep with, so I'm covered if I break down anywhere. Also have a box of fluids I just started. We've got some coolant right there, some oil, you know. These brake pads are actually from a JK. A neighbor gave them to me, so I don't know what I'll do with those. Just got my longboard back here, and here's that fender flare that came off the Jeep, just chilling back here, so I'll get to it one day. Another thing, these struts also give out after a while, but I actually replace them, so nice and sturdy again. I used to like sticker bomb this Jeep with a bunch of stuff, so this whole back windshield used to be full, but this is probably my favorite sticker on here right now. Alright, wrapping up this video, I'll give you all, I guess, a quick exhaust clip. It'll be a cold start, so it'll sound mean. Alright guys, thanks for caring enough to click on this video about my Jeep and hear me ramble on about it. So thanks for watching.